Hello guys, I'm Balint, and today I'm going to do a tier list with the biggest EDM DJs and producers. But before we start it, let me introduce myself a little bit because this is my first actual video, which is not a music video. So, my name is Balint, I'm from Hungary. Currently I'm 23 years old. Of course I love EDM. I actually have an EDM project called Bolinzi. So as you can see, this video is also on my artist channel. So yeah, but I think you heard enough of me. So let's talk about the tier list now. I have 5 tiers: S, A, B, C and D, and of course S is the best, D is the worst. I want S to be really prestigious, so only very few artists will go there. And yeah, I love at least one song from all of these artists, but some of the names will obviously go to the D tier, because yeah, maybe as an artist I don't really like them, but yeah, I still could love some of their songs. I have exactly 100 names. At first I wanted to make this much bigger, maybe around 400 to 500 names, but that will be a too long video, so yeah, I decided to make this up to 100. But yeah, one important note before we start it, I will leave a link down below the description of this tier list, because I actually made this tier list. So you can actually make your own version of that, because in this video I just give you my opinion and each to their own, of course. But yeah, that's enough yapping, so let's start the tier list. Okay, so here are the names, exactly 100 DJs. And let's start it with 4 of a kind. This is a hardstyle supergroup with Diplo and Estefan and Sub-Zero project. I actually don't have these two duos as a separate artist in this list, only as this group. The reason for that is because I actually would put them into the same tier, so that's why I only have them as this group. But yeah, I actually might put them into the B tier, because in the past I was a much bigger hardstyle fan than now, but I still quite like them, and they are probably the most popular hardstyle DJs right now, so that's why they will go there. Next we have Above and Beyond. They do some melodic house, melodic trance, progressive house. I actually love their labels, Anjuna Beats and Anjuna Deep. I actually do love some of their songs. I might put them into the A tier. I mean, it's not a strong A, but I actually love them more than 4 of a kind. I mean, of course, much different styles, but yeah, still. Next we have Afrojack. As a kid, I really loved him and his music, but now his newer songs are not really for me, and yeah, I don't really like his older songs now. But yeah, I'm definitely not a D tier, because yeah, he's much better than that, but maybe a strong C or a weak B, but I think I will put him into the C tier. Alan Walker. Okay, so I think he's very overrated. I mean, yeah, he did Faded at a very young age, I think at the age of 18 or 17. But that's the only song I actually like from him. He really went downhill after that. I'm not a big fan of him, so I might put him into the D tier actually. I mean, yeah, he mostly produced some radio hits, but I'm not a fan of those songs. But he actually has his own style of music, so yeah. So yeah, that's one good thing I actually could say about him. Okay, next we have Alesso. I mean, he did some of the best progressive house songs of the 2010s, like If I Lose Myself, Under Control or Heroes. But I won't put him into the S tier, because he actually did some mid or below mid pop songs I didn't really like, and I'm not a big fan of him anymore, so maybe A or B. I think I put him into the A tier for now, but he could go lower. But yeah, for now I will put him into the A tier, just before Above and Beyond. Okay, next we have Alice in Wonderland. I actually loved her new album, which she released last year, but I didn't like her songs in the past. But I still might put her into the B tier, because I really like her current songs actually. So next we have Alok. He's a very huge Brazilian DJ. He does some radio songs and some deep house songs actually, but I'm not a huge fan of his songs. I might put him into the D tier actually, because I'm really not listening to him, but just before Alan Walker. Okay, next we have Anima. I think he's a little bit overrated, but I still like his music. I actually do love some of his music, but his visuals actually get more attention than his tracks. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but he's still a great producer. But I think he was better at Tale of Us. I might still put him into the top of the B tier because yeah, I still love some of his songs on the Genesis album, so he's okay. RG, I actually think he is a little bit worse version of Anima because I still like some of his tracks, but a lot of his tracks have some quite annoying vocal samples. That's not cup of my tea, but I might still put him into the C tier or low B, but no, I think C tier is okay for him. Armin van Buuren, I think he's the best artist so far in this tier list, but I still won't put him into the S tier because yeah, his trance songs, even the newer ones and the older ones of course, are absolutely amazing, but I still don't like some of his popular commercial songs. Like I don't really like Blah Blah Blah, and some of his techno songs, I think they are quite generic, but yeah, his trance songs are absolutely amazing, so I will put him into the top of the A tier, and he's a legend of course in the EDM scene. Artbat, they are melodic techno artists like Anima or RG. I think they are a little bit worse than Anima, but a little bit better than RG, so yeah, I will put them into the bottom of the B tier. Okay, Avicii, I think most of you would instantly put him into the S tier, and yeah, I see why, but I might actually put him into the A tier because yeah, I absolutely love his True album, his first album actually, but the albums and singles he released after that, and even his posthumous album, and of course rest in peace to him, I didn't really love those albums, only the True album. And of course every singles he released before the True album, like Levels, Fade into Darkness. So yeah, I might just put him into the A tier, just below Armin van Buuren. Okay, next we have Axwell as a solo artist. Yeah, in this tier list I will have Swedish House Mafia, as you can see, but out of the Swedish House Mafia members I only have Axwell as a solo artist, so I don't have Angelo or Ingrosso in this tier list. So yeah, Axwell, I might definitely put him into the A tier, just below Avicii, because I actually love some of his older songs, like before the 2010. I like some of his newer songs as well. Okay, next we have Bassjackers. I liked a lot of their songs in the past when I was a huge Big Room fan, but they switched to this bouncy techno style. I don't really like them anymore, so bottom of the C tier actually. Okay, Benny Benassi. I never was a huge fan of him, but he is actually a legendary artist. He produced some songs for Madonna actually. I might put him into the top of the C tier. Okay, Blaster Jacks. Sometimes I actually confuse them with Bassjackers because they have quite similar names. Yeah, I might put them into just before Bassjackers because yeah, they are quite similar artists. They also did Big Room in the past, and now they are also doing some techno stuff. So okay, Boris Brejcha. He's actually a very popular artist in Hungary because Hungarians love these minimal techno sounds. So yeah, but I'm not a huge fan of him, but I don't hate him either, so I might put him into the C tier, just before RG. Okay, Calvin Harris. I mean, he is also a very great artist, but not S tier worthy, so I might put him into the A tier, but I do love some of his older songs and even some songs from his Funk Way Bounces album. Like Slide is one of my favorite songs of all time actually, so yeah, I might put him just before Axwell. Charlotte de Witte, not a huge fan of her. I think C tier, maybe just before RG. Okay, Chase and Status. It might surprise you, but I think we have our first S tier artist, because they are, I think, the biggest and best and the most talented drum and bass producers of all time. I mean, I don't have much drum and bass artists in this list, but I really love them. They've been around for so long now, and they are still relevant. And actually, I think they are in their prime now, because of the Badadan song became really popular. So yeah, that might be controversial that I didn't put Armin or Avicii into the S tier, but I put Chance and Status in there. But yeah, that's my own opinion, so yeah. Next we have Chris Lake. I actually do love him, but not a huge fan of his music, but might put him into the top of the B tier. Yeah, that's quite good. Next we have Daft Punk, and yeah, we have the second S tier artist, and yeah, I will put them before Chase and Status. Yeah, they are probably the biggest names of the EDM. I mean, okay, not the biggest, but the most influential names. I do love all of their albums, so yeah, obviously S tier. Okay, David Guetta. probably the most well-known DJ in the world right now, even though he's not a young guy anymore, but I'm actually not a huge fan of him. I was a big fan of him in the early 2010s when he released the Titanium, but now I don't really like those rework of older songs he's releasing right now, so yeah, I won't put him into the D tier because I still like some of his older songs, but I might put him into the bottom of the C tier, or okay, not the bottom, just before Blaster Jacks. Okay, Deadmau5, I mean, I'm debating between S or A, but I might put him into the S tier, because yeah, I still think he's a legend, and he did some classics like I Remember. I think he's a little bit better than these A tier artists. Next we have Deborah De Luca. I'm sorry, but I think her music is too generic for me, those techno songs. Yeah, I might put her into the bottom of the D tier, sorry. Okay, next, Dylan Francis. I actually do like some of his newer songs. I didn't really like his older songs actually, so I might put him into the B tier. I think the bottom of the B tier is okay. Okay, next we have Dimitri Vegas and Like Mike. I obviously will put them into the D tier because I think they are the most generic big room and hard techno artists. I mean, they are just always making what's popular in that time. Right now they are making some hard techno. A few years ago they were making some big room, even did some future bass, slap house, and yeah, all of their songs are generic. I don't really like them. So I mean, okay, I like some of their songs like Mammoth or The Hum, but they are all collaborations and I don't think they did anything in those songs, but maybe I'm wrong, but still I don't really like them as artists, so yeah. Okay, next we have Diplo, also D tier, but the top of the D tier because yeah, I do love some of his songs actually, especially the ones he did with Skrillex in this Jack U project, but he is pro AI, which I'm not a big fan of, at least in the EDM scene and the music in general. I mean, okay, AI could be used for a lot of things, but I don't think that should be a part of the music community, so yeah, D tier for him. Okay, next we have Disclosure. I'm a huge fan of them, but I don't think I will put them into the S tier, but maybe I will put them into high A tier, just before Calvin Harris. So yeah, I think that's a good spot for them. I mean, they have a quite unique style. Okay, DJ Snake. I don't really like his pop songs. I mean, those radio hits, not a huge fan of, but I do love some of his trap songs. So yeah, I think I might put him into the C tier, just below Guetta. Next we have Dom Dolla. He's very popular right now, and I actually do love him a little bit more than Anima. I mean, they have quite similar styles. Okay, not really similar, because Dom Dolla is more like on the house stuff, Anima is more techno, but that's a good spot for him, just in between Chris Lake and Anima in the B tier. Okay, Don Diablo. I actually seen him live a few years ago. He came to Hungary and I was a huge fan of him in that time. Now I don't really like his newer songs. I mean, some of his older songs are still on my playlist, so I might put him into the A tier, but into the bottom of the A tier. Okay, Eric Prydz. I think he's close to S tier, but yeah, I might just put him into the A. As I said in the beginning, I want S to be really prestigious, so yeah, I might put Prydz just behind Avicii. But yeah, he is one of the most influential names of the progressive house and the house scene in general. Okay, next we have Excision. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his songs, but he still has some songs I like pretty much, so I might put him into the B tier, just before Artbet. Okay, Fateless. Yeah, they're A tier for me, but they have a lot of classics, and of course, rest in peace to Maxi Jazz. I do love Insomnia, Weekend One, God is a DJ. I might put them into the A tier, just behind Disclosure. Okay, Fisher. I actually did love Losing It when it came out. I mean, of course, he blew up with that song in 2018, but I don't like that song anymore. But I still love some of his newer songs, but I mean, Atmosphere is a banger, but yeah, I don't really like him. Maybe I think C tier is okay, just behind RG. Okay, next we have Flume, and I think we have a new name in the S tier, and I might put him just before Chess and Status, because his future bass and kind of hyper pop style is very unique, and I think he should have been more popular in the late 2010s when future bass became so popular because of the Chainsmokers, and of course Flume is much greater artist than Chainsmokers, so yeah, but he wasn't as popular, but I absolutely love his songs. Okay, next we have Fortet. I saw him live a few years ago with Fred again, but I actually think Fred again is a little bit better artist, but I still love Fortet, so I might put him into the A tier, just behind Axwell. And talking about Fred again, he is S tier. He is probably one of my favorite artists right now. I mean, top 3 actually. And I might put him behind Jason Status, or maybe behind Flume. That's quite a great position for him. I mean, his style is very unique. He sings live, he uses some launchpad live. His live shows are also quite unique and amazing. So yeah, he's S tier for me. Okay, next we have Galantis. I absolutely love their first album called Pharmacy, but everything they released after that I'm not a huge fan of, so I might just put them into the top of the C tier. Okay, next we have Gordo, or Carnage. This was his earlier artist name, but he changed it a few years ago, and he became more popular with this Gordo alias, but I do not really care for his songs. I mean, he did some tracks with Drake, and he has a new summer anthem called Loco Loco, but I'm not a huge fan of any of those songs, so I might put him into the D tier, just behind Alan Walker. So yeah, I don't really like Gordo. Okay, next we have Griffin. I actually saw a very similar video to this by Bowtied Media. He did a tier list of DJs. So I actually took the inspiration from that video, and I remember he said Griffin is the budget Illenium, and yeah, I think it's very true. But I still like some of his songs, so I might put him in the C tier, just behind Afrojack. Because yeah, I still don't hate him, and I still like quite a lot of his songs, but he doesn't have his style. I mean, most of his songs are copies of Illenium's melodic dubstep style, and he has some deep house songs, which I actually like some of them, like that Desire remix is quite good, and he did a collaboration with Armin van Buuren, and that's one of my favorite trance songs of all time, but it's more of Armin's style probably. Next we have Halo, and that's, if you don't know them, that's a progressive house supergroup with Matheson Satko, Third Party, and Dub Vision, and they are kind of similar to Four of a Kind in terms of they are more popular as a separate artist, but I would put all of these artists into the same tier anyway, so I just put them into this tier list as a supergroup. So I'm fan of all of these artists, so I might put them into the A tier, just behind Less So. I mean, they actually have kind of similar styles. And these artists are probably the biggest pioneers of the progressive house scene right now, because Less So and Swedish House Mafia don't really make those type of music anymore, so yeah, but I still love them, but the Halo artists are still producing the songs. I mean there isn't a single song of Halo as a group released, but they have a lot of unreleased stuff. But yeah, I'm talking about their songs they released as Matheson Satko, as Third Party, and as Dub Vision, so I hope you understand me. Okay, next we have Hardwell. He used to be my absolute favorite artist as a kid, when I was a huge Big Room fan, but now I don't really love him, but I still like him a lot, and I like his newer songs, but not as much as I love some of his older like classic songs like Spaceman or Apollo or Echo. So if I wasn't a huge fan of Hardwell in the past, I would probably put him into the B tier, but just because of those childhood memories and those classic songs of him, I will definitely put him into the A tier, maybe just behind Calvin Harris, because yeah, I actually do love Calvin a little bit more right now, but yeah, I still love Hardwell. Okay, so next we have Headhunters, another hardstyle artist. I mean, I think I only have him and the Four of a Kind artist in this tier list of the hardstyle genre. And I actually think he is a little bit better than Four of a Kind, so I might put him into the bottom of the A tier, because yeah, he has done a lot of great hardstyle tracks, and probably he's one of the most talented hardstyle producer. And he actually did some big room as well in the 2010s, but he switched back to hardstyle. Okay, Holy Priest, so he's making some kind of hard techno and raw style even, and he's very popular right now, but I'm not a huge fan of him, but I don't hate him either, so I might put him into the C tier, just behind David Guetta. But I actually would like to see him live one day, because he has a lot of energy, so his stage presence is quite good. Okay, so next we have Ugel. He just released the album with a lot of big collaborators like Snoop Dogg and Big Sean, but I do really not care of his songs. So yeah, I might put him into the D tier, just behind Locke maybe. But yeah, he's very popular. And fun fact, one of the most popular songs of that album, Moving to the Sun, is actually using an AI generated track. And actually 2 Hungarian people did prompt that original song, and Ugel sampled it. And it's not a bad song by any means, but yeah, I do not love AI in music, so. Okay, next we have Illenium. A lot of people would say he is the GOAT of the melodic dubstep. And yeah, in terms of popularity, of course, he is, but I actually do love some smaller artists like AU5 more. But yeah, I still love Illenium, so I might put him into the A tier, just behind Halo. Okay, Isoxo. We have a new duo in the S tier, and I actually might put them just behind Fred again, because Isoxo, I mean, this is a duo from Isoxo and Nak2. And they are not even that popular in Europe, sadly, but they are quite popular in the US. But I'm a huge fan of their style. I mean, they are mixing trap with a little bit of bass house and those rage and trap, like Playboy Carti style of music. So yeah, that's a great fusion. And of course they are not as big names as the other names in the S tier, but I mean, that's my tier list, my opinions, and I think they are the best upcoming artists right now. So I mean, objectively they are not S tier, of course, but for me, for my taste, they are S tier. So yeah. Okay, next we have James Hype. I mean, as a DJ, he's A or maybe even S, but as a producer, I don't really like his songs, so I might put him into the C tier, and actually the bottom of the C tier, so he's almost D, because yeah, I'm not a huge fan of him, but yeah. Okay, next we have John Summit, one of the most popular DJ from the new generation. He has some classic songs already, like Where You Are and Shivers and Go Back, and he is actually quite talented. I do love most of his songs, so I might put him into the A tier, maybe just behind Illenium. Okay, Justice, I might put them into the S tier, I think the bottom of the S tier, because they inspired a lot of artists. I mean, they were inspired by Daft Punk, but they inspired other artists in the French house scene like Madeon. So yeah, they are worthy of an S tier. And they released a new album like 2 years ago, and that was absolutely amazing as well. And next we have Cascade. I mean, he did one of the best EDM songs of all time with Deadmau5, I remember, but I think Cascade is a little bit worse artist than Deadmau5, so I won't put him into the S tier, but into the A tier. I think I will put him just behind Above and Beyond. Okay, Kind Music. I mean, the most popular names in the Afro House scene, but I don't really like Afro House, so I might put them into the C tier, just before James Hype. Knife Party. I was a huge fan of them in the 2010s, but they quite disappeared. I mean, they came back for an EP in 2018, but that wasn't too good, and most of those songs were just remixes of their older songs, so I might put them into the top of the B tier, or not even the top. I think I might put them below Anima, because yeah, I do love some of their songs, but I'm not a huge fan of them. So okay, next we have Cream, melodic techno artist. I mean, they are not as popular as Anima or Arbet or RG, but I really wanted to put them into this tier list because they are, I think, the best melodic techno artist. I actually saw them live last year in Hungary. I think they are A tier. tier. I might put them just before Illenium actually, because yeah, I really love Cream. Okay, next we have Kashmir. Most of these producers and probably the 90% of the upcoming producers are using his sample packs. So because of that reason alone, he can be worse than A tier. But I actually think his singles and his own songs are not that great. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Kashmir's singles. So if I rank him only because of his actual songs, I might put him into the B tier, but because he is so influential and almost everyone uses his sample packs, I will put him into the A tier behind Cascade. Okay, next we have Kygo, creator of Tropical House, but I'm not a huge fan of Tropical House, but I still like some of his older songs. I don't think he's even making Tropical House right now. I mean, those newer songs are just radio pop songs, so yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them, but yeah, I won't put him in D tier because yeah, he's still so influential, and his first album is not bad actually, so he's behind DJ Snake. Next we have Lane 8. I really wanted to put a melodic house artist into this tier list, even though Lane 8 is not that popular. I also love Tin Liquor and Sultan and Shepard, but they are not in this tier list, so I only have Lane 8, and I will put him into the A tier because I really love him. I mean, they kind of have a similar style of Above and Beyond, but I think he is a little bit better than them, so I might put him behind Cream, or maybe even before Cream, just behind Halo. Okay, next we have Lost Frequencies. I mean, he's just making pretty generic radio songs, so D tier. So I might put him just below Alan Walker. And I want to say one thing, there is a lot of similar artists to Lost Frequencies like Joel Corey, Topic, Imam Beck, Cyril, and I don't have those artists in this tier list, but I would put all of them into the D tier because yeah, they are just making generic sloppy radio hits, and I'm not a huge fan of those songs, so sorry, but that's just my opinion. But yeah. Next we have Medix, and I think he is the best and probably my favorite techno, I mean mainstage techno artist right now, so I might put him into the A tier behind John Smith. I mean, he's not anything crazy, but I still love his acid sounds, and I actually follow him since his Big Room days, like when he was on Hardwell's Revealed label, and he was actually kinda unique in the Big Room scene as well. So yeah, he's a very great producer, and he actually switched to techno from Big Room before it was a big thing, so he started this new techno wave. Okay, Madeon, S tier, and I might put him into the top of the S tier, and yeah, that might surprise you, but I even like him more than Daft Punk. I mean, okay, Daft Punk is a lot more influential, and even Madeon inspired by Daft Punk and Justice, and they are both lower than Madeon, but yeah, I'm a little bit too young to really enjoy Daft Punk and Justice, so I actually grew up with Madeon's music. So yeah, he's one of my favorite artists right now, and he was also one of my favorite artists like 10 years ago, so obviously S tier, and yeah, the top of the S tier. And yeah, from S tier we are moving down to D tier because the next name is Marshmello, and he is D tier for me. I will put him into the top because yeah, I like some of his songs, but they are all collaborations. Like he did some songs with Space Laces, and I actually do love some of his melodies in his songs, but I do not love his production and drum selection. I think it's generic. Overall, he is D tier for me. Okay, Martin Garrix. I mean, I could put him into the S tier even, but I think I will put him into the top of the A tier behind Avicii. I actually saw Garrix live. He was in the same festival as Fredrigan and Fortet, and yeah, it was a quite good experience, and I still love some of his songs, and even some of his radio pop songs I quite enjoy. So okay, Mopi, he was Maurice West just before his name change. He used to make some big room music, and he is now making some tech house. I mean, his style is quite similar to Damdala and Chris Lake, so I might put him just next to them, but I actually do love Chris and Damdola a little bit more. And actually I might put him behind Enema. That's 4 artists that are quite popular in the house and techno scene right now. Okay, next we have Medusa. They are really hit or miss artists for me because they actually have a lot of those generic radio hits like Piece of Your Heart and Lose Control. and I don't really like those songs, but they have a lot of amazing progressive house and tech house songs like Sparks and Pegasus, and they have their own label right now called Eterna Records, and they released Another Word, and that's also a very great song. So they're kind of hit or miss because their radio hits are kind of shit, but I do love their progressive and house and deep house songs, so yeah, I might put them into the B tier behind Four of a Kind. But yeah, that's only because of their radio songs, because if they didn't have those songs, I might put them into the A tier actually. Okay, so next we have Mesto. I mean, he's getting quite popular right now with that tech house style with some aggressive bass, like in the song Caramel. That was one of the most played songs in festivals in this year and even last year. But I also know his older, like Future Bounce songs. Yeah, I mean, he's okay. I'm not a huge fan of him, but yeah, I might put him into the B tier. Next we have Mike Williams. I mean, they had a quite similar Future Bounce style, and Mike is still making some Future Bounce songs, while Mesto has already changed his style. But I'm not a huge fan of him anymore. I actually do love Mesto a little bit more right now, so yeah, I actually will also put him into the B tier, just behind Mesto. Yeah, so next we have Morten. He is the creator of Future Rave together with David Guetta. And yeah, I forgot to say when I put David Guetta into the C tier that I actually quite enjoy some of those Future Rave songs. So that's also a reason why I didn't put David Guetta into the D tier, because yeah, those radio songs are awful, but those Future Rave songs are good. But because Morten is basically only having those Future Rave songs, and that's more of his style and not really Guetta's style, I might put him higher than David Guetta. So I mean, yeah, he's also C tier behind Griffin. Okay, Nero, they are back, but without the girl who used to sing in their songs. But yeah, those older songs are classics and I really love them, like Innocence and Promises and Reaching Out. They're all one of my favorite dubstep songs of all time. So yeah, I might put them into the A tier behind Halo. Okay, next we have Nicky Romero. He also used to have some classic progressive house and electro house songs that I really enjoy to this day. But his newer songs, I mean, okay, he still released some good progressive house songs, but he's mostly releasing some techno and future rave tech house, so yeah, he's not as good anymore, so I might put him into the C tier. I mean, at the top of the C tier. Okay, Nina Giraci, actually one of my favorite artists right now. I love My Computer is amazing, so yeah, she is a minimum A tier for me, but I might consider the bottom of the S tier, so yeah, I think I might put her into S tier, because yeah, her style is really unique. I mean, all of these artists in the S tier have really unique style. So next we have Odessa. They are also very close to the S tier, but I might put them into the top of the A tier actually, because I did not listen to them as much as those S tier artists, but yeah, I still do love most of their songs, so yeah, a very strong A tier. Next we have Oliver Heldens, and he also has a techno alias called Hilo, so yeah, I might put him into the B tier. I used to love his future house sound, but not a huge fan of that anymore, so yeah, I might put him just before Medusa. I mean, those Hilo songs, I like some of them, but not a huge fan of those, so yeah, they are quite okay. Yeah, next we have Paul van Dyk, trance legend. I mean, I should compare him with Armin van Buuren because he's also a trance artist, but Paul might be more talented, but I do love Armin a little bit more. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of trance, but I love this genre still, but not like an insane amount. So I might put him into the bottom of the A tier, because yeah, he's still very good. So next we have Peggy Gou. I saw that a lot of people in the EDM community dislikes her music, but I don't think her music is actually that bad, so I might put her into the B tier, just before Mesto. Yeah, I mean, It Goes Like is quite catchy song, and she released a lot of great songs before that in a very unique style, so I don't understand the hate for her. So okay, next we have Porter Robinson, and I think that's the most obvious S tier, and yeah, I will put him into the top of the S tier actually. I mean, Porter Robinson and Madeon, they created one of the best EDM tracks of all time, Shelter, and of course I love them individually as well, but I think Porter Robinson is one of my favorite EDM artists of all time. I love his older, more danceable stuff, but I also love those punk EDM fusion songs like Cheerleader and Russian Roulette, so so he is definitely a top 3 artist for me of all time, and not even in just the EDM scene, because I also listen to some other genres of music, not just EDM, but I think he is top 3 for me overall, or minimum top 5. Okay, so next we have Rehab. Rehab is the definition of quantity over quality, and it should be the other way around. So yeah, I might put him into the D tier, just behind Lost Frequencies. Because yeah, I mean, still like some of his songs, like Hypnotize is quite good and Flashlight, but yeah, most of his songs are forgettable, and he releases a track or sometimes even 2 tracks every week. So yeah, that's too much songs. Okay, so next we have Rez. I mean, I quite like her songs, not all of them, but she's, I think, a B tier, just behind Knife Party. Rufus the Soul, they are A tier, kind of similar style to Lane 8, but I actually might put them ahead of Lane 8, because Rufus the Soul's songs are a little bit more catchy than Lane 8's song, but yeah, I love both of these artists, so they're kind of similar, but yeah. Okay, Sarah Landry, not bad. I definitely like her more than, for example, Deborah DeLuca. I might put her in the C tier, ahead of Morten. Okay, Seven Lions, melodic dubstep artist. I actually like him a little bit more than Illenium, so I will definitely put him in the A tier, just before Illenium, because I actually love them both, but Seven Lions is a little bit better, I think. Okay, so next we have, I think, my favorite DJ of all time, Skrillex. So he is going to the top of the S tier, obviously. So he was my biggest inspiration even in the 2010s, and he is on his second prime now. Actually, I think his Quest for Fire album is probably his best ever. I actually like his current songs more than his Bro Step songs, which he released them in the early 2010s. So I think he's my favorite artist of all time. He's great in trap, dubstep, Bro Step, even some popular pop songs, some house songs. So he's very versatile, very unique. So yeah, he deserves all the fame he gets. He might even deserve some more fame. So okay, Slender. Yeah, they are making some future-based, some melodic dubstep. Yeah, but I think they are a little bit worse than, for example, Illenium. So yeah, they are B tier maximum. So yeah, I might put them just behind Dylan Francis. Solomon. I mean, I don't know too many songs from him, but I know he's a very good DJ. Ibiza loves him. So yeah, he's a bigger DJ than a producer. I mean, actually, he released 2 big collabs. Last year, he released the collab with Anima. This year, he released the new song with Skrillex, actually. And he has an unreleased collaboration with Damdola and Skepta, which is quite nice. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan, but maybe I will put him into the B tier, just behind Peggy. Yeah, next we have Space Lysis, probably the best and most talented tier-out dubstep DJ right now, and producer, of course. So I might put him into the A tier. Yeah, just behind Less So. Yeah, we have Steve Aoki. I could say the same thing for him that I said for Rehab, that he's a quantity over quality guy, which is not a good thing. So yeah, he has a lot of albums, but all of them are mediocre or maybe even bad. So yeah, I still love some of his songs, but most of them are collaborations with other DJs. So I might just put him into the bottom of the D tier, actually. I think I love more Dimitri Vegas Like Mike songs than Steve Aoki songs. I mean, they actually have a group called 3R Legend, and yeah, I also don't really like them. So I mean, I liked them in the past when I was a huge Big Room fan, but now I think they are not that good. So yeah. Next we have Subfocus. I think he is the only drum and bass producer in this tier list besides Jason Status. But yeah, he's not as good as them, so I might put him into the A tier, just behind Don Diablo. I could have put much more drum and bass producers in here, by the likes of Dimension, Culture Shock, Arcando, Sigma, Rudimental, but I didn't want to put too many artists from the same genres. Next we have Subtronics, one of the most popular dubstep artists right now. I don't like all of his songs, but I still think he's talented and great producer, so I might put him into the the top of the B tier, or maybe just behind Chris Lake. Next we have Zedd and Death. I think he is the most popular rhythm producer. I mean, when he became popular in maybe 2018, I actually quite liked him. Yeah, but now I'm not a huge rhythm fan anymore, so I might actually just put him into the C tier, just behind Afrojack. Yeah, next we have Swedish House Mafia, obviously S tier, because I put Armin van Buuren and Avicii into the A tier, but Swedish House Mafia are still really relevant and their new songs are amazing as well. They are deserving the S tier. I might put them behind Fred again. So yeah, I'm a very huge Swedish House Mafia fan still. And next we have Chami. I might put him just before Oliver Heldens. I mean, they are kind of similar, but Chami I think is a little bit better, but now I don't really listen to him anymore. Yeah, next we have the Chainsmokers. Yeah, they are kind of hated in the EDM community and I also don't really like them, but they actually have a new EP with Oaks and I like their song on this EP called Echo. Yeah, and I even like some of their older songs like Roses and Dreaming. So I think I might put them in the D tier because I still actually hate some of their songs, but I might put them just below Marshmello because yeah, they are still not horrible and have some good songs, but mostly it's just radio hits and generic future-based songs. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan. And next we have Tiesto. I mean, yeah, he also has some generic radio hits, but he is now back to trance. Yeah, his older trance songs from the early 2000s were legendary, so I might put him into the A tier. Only because of that I might put him just below Kashmir. But yeah, I don't really like his radio songs, but yeah, the trance songs, and he has some big room songs as well that are not that bad, so maybe A tier. Yeah, next we have Timmy Trumpet. The Hungarians love him and he is also loving the Hungarians because his wife was Hungarian, but I think they're divorced now, so I don't know if he is coming back to Hungary that often that he is used to. So yeah, but I actually not a huge fan of him. I actually hate his hardstyle reworks of those classical songs. They are just awful actually. But I kinda like his older stuff, like those Melbourne Bounce songs like Freak and Bleed, but I'm not really listening to him anymore, so yeah, I might put him into the D tier. Maybe just behind Diplo. Underscores, she is one of my favorite artists right now, but maybe I could compare her to Nina Giraci, and I think I love Nina a little bit more, so I don't think I will put Underscores into the S, but I will put her into the A tier, just behind Martin Garrix, so she is a very strong A tier. But yeah, I think Nina is a little bit better for my taste, but yeah, Underscores is one of the most emerging and underrated producer and singer right now, so yeah, love her. Next we have Vintage Culture. He is also Brazilian like Alok, and they have some collaborations as well, but yeah, I also don't really like his songs. I mean, yeah, I like some of his actual like non-collaboration songs a little bit more than Alok, so I might put him into the bottom of the C tier, so he's not D tier, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan. Okay, next we have W&W. I used to be a huge fan of them in the 2010s when they were making some good and high quality big room songs, but now they are just making some AI slap remixes of some meme songs, and I might actually put them into the D tier because of that, because that's what they are doing now. Okay, sometimes they're releasing some big room songs, but yeah, I don't really like them actually. So yeah, I might put them into the D tier behind Chainsmokers. Okay, Yellow Claw, they were probably the most popular trap artist in the 2010s, but yeah, I mean, they weren't the most talented, but I still love them, and they released an album this year and it was actually quite enjoyable and I really liked it, so I might put them into the B tier. maybe just behind Knife Party. And last but not least we have Zedd. Yeah, his progressive electro songs are classics and he is still making some good songs, like the Telos album was kinda nice, I actually liked it, so I might put him into the A tier. I mean, he's not S, but strong A. I mean, his radio hits, I don't like all of them, but Stay is quite nice songs. Obviously I like him for the progressive house songs. I might put him just behind Eric Prydz. I mean, that might be too strong for him because I think Calvin Harris is a little bit better. Okay, I might put him behind Calvin Harris. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so we are done with the tier list. Let me down below in the comments what you think of it, and of course you can make your own tier list. I will put the link down below the description. So yeah, take a last look of the S tier. So Skrillex, Party Robinson, Madeon, Daft Punk, Flume, Radagan, Swedish House Mafia, Isoxo, Jason Status, Deadmau5, Justice and Nina Girachi. I think that's quite good. So there is not a lot of artists in the S tier, but I wanted it like this way, so it's kinda prestigious. And I have a lot of artists in the A tier, a little bit less in the B and the C tier, and of course in the D tier I have some of the artists I don't really like. So yeah, I enjoyed that video. See you next time, bye!